Howdy, this is Liz, and I am participating in the Friendly Junk Journal 12 Days of Christmas program, in which we are all making videos to encourage people to start junk journaling or to use their junk journaling skills and materials to make holiday gifts. And today is Bookmark Day. And you'll notice that this does not look like your usual junk journaling stuff. Remember, these are going to be gifts for other people. If you're not into comic books, probably a child, a grandchild, or a child at heart somewhere in your friend or family group is. They're very popular at the moment. And so I wanted to encourage you to step outside the box and think about using some of your skills in a different design. So here are some bookmarks that I have made, and you're going to say, oh, this is actually a altered paper clip. Yes, in some ways it is. I thought about making these bookmarks, and the size I was going for, I decided rather than have strings attached to them, the way many bookmarks do, I would go ahead and put a paper clip on it so you could affix it to the page and keep your favorite bookmark with you. So I'm going to run you through how I made these, and you'll notice that my desk is a mess. I have used every tool in the craft room on these, and they're all still sitting here. But here's what the finished product looks like. I want to talk to you first about comic books and where to get them. Obviously, a comic book shop. You probably, if you're as old as I am, are used to comic books looking like this. This is a paper, it's like newsprint. The colors are kind of bright, and this is what they look like these days. This is a glossy print. It's more magazine type. And if you know what your giftee's favorite characters are, you can buy a single comic book that features them and use it. When we needed comic books, we discovered something that was great. It's called the preview book. And this is the book that comic book or bookstore owners shop from when they are deciding what inventory to purchase. It's a preview of upcoming series, and they can go through and they say, oh, Thor has a movie coming out. We want this Thor and that Thor and this Thor, and there are 3 different storylines, and they know what quantity to order them in. When I was thinking about making these, I thought that I would base them around a 3x5 index card. And I got out some preview books that my husband and I had purchased for a previous craft project, and I started looking at the images and realized that a lot of the format images are approximately 2x3. So this was going to work out beautifully. See, 2x3, 2x3. So that was awesome. This is a Marvel preview. I think they do have them for other lines if your people are in the DC world. And go ask at the desk of your comic book or bookstore. These were in the dollar bin because once they've ordered from them, they're done with them. And they can be less expensive than regular comic books. I think we got ours for 50 cents a piece, and we got a lot of them. So pick your pages out. The other advantage is of the previews, you get a lot of different characters. So you don't have to just go with one person. You can make a whole assortment, as I did. And there are comic books for all tastes. One of the ones that was previewed was Jane Eyre. This is I think a Japanese one. It's called Kabuki Reflections, and it has much softer art than you're probably used to seeing. So that's how you get your comic books and you get your images. Having decided to go for the 3x5 format, I took the comic book page, which is fairly lightweight, and I used a tape runner to go around the line side of the index card so that it would be hidden, and then I affixed it to the back of the image and then trimmed it down. Just gives it a crisper, cleaner edge, and it reinforces the comic book page, which is very flimsy. So I got a bunch of those, And then I decided that I wanted to do cardstock on the back to do the hidden paper clip. So I got out some cardstock that sort of coordinated with my designs that I had picked, and I used my alcohol sprays, which I just love, and some stencils, and designed some backs for the cards in coordinating colors. Not all the alcohol sprays work very well in the dark colors, so I also went ahead and did some embossing. How is that? Sorry about that. My camera cut out for a minute. This is a clear embossing powder on black, which I did through the stencil using the Versamark. And here is the awesome stencil that my husband made, which you may or may not be able to see very well because it is clear. And then use the heat embossing tool on that. And it just looks fabulous. I have a couple of very dark themed cards that are going to go use those as the back. So once I had those, I then paired them up with the designs that I wanted to use them with. I'll show you a couple of those. This is an old flat Flash comic book, and this has a fantastic red, very motion oriented back. This is from a Star Trek comic book, so that got a kind of modern feel. This is a Jane Eyre comic book, strangely enough. That got kind of a vintage back there. And this one is about the Trojan War. They just have comic books about everything these days. This one got a very trippy back. So I discovered a couple of things. One of the things that I knew about the altered paper clips is that you want to use hot glue to affix the paper clip. And I tried using hot glue all the way around and didn't like the result. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. To inset the paper clip into the top of the card so it doesn't stick out, I'm using a paper punch, and I'm just giving it a little half round right there in the center. And this is going to be the outside back. So the large side of my paper clip is going to get slid right in there and centered. And then use the hot glue around here to hold it in, and a little bit in the center. But before I hot glued it, I used the tape runner all the way around the edges and at the top here. And very carefully, because it will stick to me, I then put the hot glue here and put this down to sandwich it in the middle. I discovered a couple of things of hot glue. I'm not very good with hot glue. That's the first thing I discovered. You have to act fast with hot glue. And I don't like things that are sticky. They annoy me. And so I keep trying to get rid of the threads and things. And I'm not quite fast enough to glue all the edges around. This one, you may not be able to see it because it's very thin here. But I have a line of hot glue all the way around here that is holding the front and back edges apart. It's like there's a miniature log of glue in there. If you are better with hot glue than I am, this might work for you. The other thing I decided is that I liked it taped all the way to the edges so that it didn't come apart at all. And the tape runner is better for that. So use the tape all the way around the edges, use the hot glue around the paper clip, and very quickly line it up, smush it down. I didn't get mine lined up every time. They didn't have to be perfectly square, so I trimmed them. Because every once in a while you get it offset a little bit and there'd be a sticky bit. Okay, I didn't get it offset quite that much. I did that so you could see it. And then you are essentially done making that just with the tape runner and the glue. But, of course, you know, we like to embellish. So you may not want flowers and things on everything, but I used my clear embossing powder on Spider-Man's webs here. And it's just a little bit, and you can't see it very well, but it's so cute in person. This is a character from a Laurel Clay Hamilton book that was turned into a comic book, and I used embossing powder in the hair and along the shirt, and it's just darn cute. So this one also has a purple on purple back. This one has a green one. And I did the edges to give them a little bit more definition. Some of them I did in purple, some of them I did in green, depending on what the card was. Green on the front sort of coordinates with the Incredible Hulk. I only have one color of embossing powder that isn't clear, and that is purple. So, of course, I did the Joker's hair. Who wouldn't, right? And I did the edges in black, which looks really good. And actually, I used the alcohol spray that I have that is green, because the Joker uses purple and green. So it's green on top of the purple card for a very subtle print there. Again, the Joker, my favorite character. I did just a little embossing on the edges of his jacket. And here is a green on green. I did the edges in green. And the alcohol spraying in green as well. I think this is Ms. Marvel. I don't know all of these characters. I edged this one in black, and this is a very subtle blue on blue background. And this one is Daredevil. I edged it in black. And I got some weird results when I was using the stencils. I had been stenciling in blue ink before I did the red alcohol spray. So it bled through, but yeah, I kind of liked it. Sometimes you get great results when you don't expect to. So I hope you are encouraged. Obviously, you can make this type of material with anything that you can find, whatever interest your person that you're making gifts for has. Bookmarks are easy, and I was able to use my distress inks, my embossing, my glue gun. I had a great day in the craft room making these. These were a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy the rest of the 12 Days of Christmas. Thanks for watching. Bye.